Hey y'all, I'm Stay Hall.
And I'm Wallace Hall.
And together we are the Halls. And this is The Hallway. A question that we get asked quite often, which would normally seem like a pretty easy question, but it's not. And that's for many reasons, partially because we do a lot together, but we do things individually as well. So our answers may vary. But the question is, why did we get started doing what we do? And quite simply, why do we do what we do? And so for me, I know a lot of it had to do with my own personal life experiences and just kind of trying to figure out the reason behind some things. I mean, of course, I learned lessons along the way, but I always felt like there had to be a bigger picture, a greater reason. And I felt like, well, maybe I'm missing something, until it dawned on me that some of what I had been through maybe didn't really have anything to do with me, except for the fact that I needed to share it with someone else who may be struggling with the same thing. And especially coming through certain situations victoriously, you don't keep that to yourself. And so dealing with things like failed relationships, failed marriages, struggling with self-worth and all those types of things, and to come out on the other end victorious and just feeling great about yourself, ending up in a marriage with the love of your life, knowing what that looks like and accepting that, I realized that I had to go through those things in order to help other people who maybe didn't have the resources or the courage at the time or the support to figure it out on their own. And so I had to have those experiences in order to be able to genuinely help other people from experience, not just from some book knowledge or whatever. I've been there, and so I can empathize, I can relate, and it just makes sense.
Right. Now, can I ask you a question about that, though? Are there times where you feel like sharing openly, or is it more or less when someone comes and asks you, or you feel like you may, maybe put it this way, maybe you need to interject and you see someone that may be struggling with something, you say, you know what, I think I may be able to help them?
Well, I think at first it started more as an interjecting type of thing. It is hard for me to watch anyone struggle. Mm-hmm. And so in different positions that I've been put in my life, I have had the opportunity to build close relationships with either people that I work with when you were pastoring, building those relationships with the people at the church. And so you're not disconnected from them, so you kind of have a front row seat of what's going on in their life. And for me, it was just difficult to ever sit back and watch someone struggle. So even if they didn't ask for my help, I would sometimes or oftentimes just kind of gently interject myself, and first of all just to let them know that I cared and they weren't alone, and if they were open to it, then I was more than willing to share.
Right. Okay. Well, I know for me, getting asked this question, things like getting asked this question, I always put it like this. I've always been very, I don't know, I'm gonna say opinionated, but I always felt like there was a certain calling on my life. And I know getting in ministry when I did, and when, feeling that calling in my life to get into ministry and to help other people, that's always just been part of who I am. And I seem like I've always been the one that people would come to for advice, or even to have my opinion, to know what my opinion was or how I felt about different things. And I think a lot of it just had to be where I carried myself. And so over time, it's just always been, I've come to be that particular person that people come to and want to know what's going on. What do you think about this? Can you give me some advice on this or give me some advice on that? And I know as we got approached about doing this and putting our message out, and helping people in ministry and things like that, that's kind of what brought everything kind of full circle as to what we need to be doing, and that's sharing and helping people. I've just always believed that if I help people get where they're trying to go, God's going to help me get where I'm trying to go. And trying to share my life experiences, trying to help people see right from wrong. Mentoring. I've been involved in mentoring various groups, law enforcement agencies, helping officers out and things like that, especially like inside the church also. So it's just a lot of that, and I get a lot of fulfillment out of that, and just makes me feel like I'm serving my purpose and doing what I need to do. And when it came opportunity like for this, for us to be able to help couples and things like that, you know, because like I say, I've had relationship failures, relationship disappointments and things like that, where things just didn't go the way I would have liked for them to go. And, you know, some fault of others, some fault of mine. So, but if I can help other people avoid those pitfalls, I feel like we're living in our purpose and doing what we need to do.
Yeah, and I know I have like this desire to rescue people because I think that for so long in my life, I wish that there would have been someone to rescue me. And so if I see something and I feel like there's something I can do, I immediately want to jump in and try to rescue people. And a lot of times from themselves. And I can't say for me, you know, there weren't times in my life when I needed to be rescued from myself, because so many times we are so closely attached to whatever the situation or circumstance is, we can't even see our way out of it. And I just wish I would have had more of that in my life. And so that's what led me to life coaching, because I know had I had some sort of mentor or life coach early on, I wouldn't have to make as many stumbles and falls along the way as I did. And again, doing this kind of helps me not to think of the woulda, shoulda, couldas, because now I'm like, okay, it's fine. I had to make those mistakes. I had to stumble and fall. It wasn't meant for me to have that mentor, that rescuer at the time, because I needed to go through these things. But that's something that just really pulls me in. I want to be able to help people get out of their sunken place, or at least realize that they can, because I know for me as well, in my past, I didn't realize that all I had to do was this one little thing, or change this one little thing, or, you know, sometimes it's removing yourself from certain people. Sometimes it's time to leave a job, you know, whatever. A lot of times I just felt trapped in a situation. And so when I see other people feeling trapped that way, whether it's young women feeling trapped in, you know, a relationship that's not good for them, or whether it's young women with hopes and dreams of aspirations of doing something grand and they don't feel like they can do it. I just love being that person to say, yes, you can.
Right. You know, and I like helping, you know, people, you know, as well. You know, that's just like I say, we get fulfillment out of that. And when you're seeing people in those situations, that you want to try and pull them out. And what we're going to find out, it happens, you know, it's older people, younger people, you know, it's all over the age spectrum of, you know, different financial situations. Not everything is solved by money. You know, sometimes money has caused more problems than what they had before they had money. And I know, like sharing, I love sharing and with mentoring with young people. I just feel like this, you know, especially us being at the age where we are, where as we've traveled this road, you know, it'd be sad if someone, you know, leave the house right now, going down the road, and realize that there's a pothole or some big hole that you're going to fall into, and not call back and tell the other person, say, hey, don't go this way. Here's an opportunity where I can, you know, go this way. Here's an opportunity where you won't fall into what I fell into, and go a different route. And that way you can have a smoother road. And that's what we owe it to our people. So, but it's not always young people. Like I say, it's some older people, because sometimes you find those people just making those same mistakes over and over. So I like being involved and being able to help someone. I don't always like to interject, but, you know, I get accused of interjecting sometimes.
He is a major interjector.
But I just hate to see when people are making mistakes that they don't need to make. Life can be a lot easier if you just look at it like this. And I've always tried to be very rational, see it from both sides. I know it's something you and I talk about, trying to see things from different angles. And that's why, you know, I'm always willing to listen. You know, the Bible talks about always be observant. So I always try to be observed and try to see something from the other person's side. And like I say, I have opinions, but I always try to look and see what the other person may say. And I feel like I can help. I have helped several people that maybe looking at something a little different. Sometimes it's helped me. You know, it's been a big ministry, somebody ministering to me and helping me see something a little differently. But I get great fulfillment out of this. I enjoy it. I enjoy the interaction that we have with other couples, other individuals. You know, and like I said, I just love seeing people be successful. And man, that's just an awesome feeling when you see somebody take something from the infancy stage, especially like a business. They take something from the infancy stage and they grow it up and where it's being successful and being self-sufficient. I really like that.
Yeah, watching the process is amazing. Now, with me loving to do this so much, and I don't know if you have the same experience or feelings at times, I don't know if there's such a thing as getting too attached or maybe having too big of an expectation, but you know how I am. When I am dealing with clients one-on-one, who have the personal sessions with me, who aren't just people who, you know, follow us on social media or bought the book, my actual clients in real life, I think sometimes maybe I get too attached.
No, it's easy to do.
Yeah, and everybody becomes my family, which of course it sounds wonderful, and you know, you can never have a tribe too large, but everyone is not always a perfect fit, and I think sometimes I visit it on myself when I don't have this major success story from every single client, or I get too caught up in their lives and I bring everything on myself. And so that's something I'm working on with me, because I love the work that I do and I love working with people, but I have to remember that even though they've solicited my help, I can't live their life for them.
Right.
I can't make them do what I say do. And I can't make them follow the program. And so that's kind of a downside of it, but it's something I'm working on. But, and I'm sure in time I'll realize why that's happened. But every once in a while, I'll have that client where it seems like they're just stuck, and I just visited on myself, like, why aren't they growing? Why aren't they getting it? Why, you know, aren't things going better? What am I doing wrong? It has to be, you know, and so that's a little tough, but it doesn't stop me, you know, but I just get so attached and I get so concerned, and it's tough sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, we get attached to them because I get, you know, like emotionally involved in certain people, because we are rooting for, you know, and the people that have, you know, signed up with people that we have coached and mentored, you know, you want them to be successful, but sometimes they just don't quite get it, you know, and if you make this change, if you do this, or if you look at this differently, or if you try this, and, you know, it's only one thing, because we can sit there and give you all the information in the world. And that's what I found out. I can give you all the information in the world that's going to try and help you line things up, but it still falls back on them to actually implement it and do it. And that's why, you know, sometimes now I've changed up how I approach those things, for is trying to get an implementation session with someone. Like, this is what we need to do. You know what? Let's do this. Right. Let's do this now, instead of always kind of letting on them, because, you know, when people, you know, hook up with you and things like that, and you become friends, like say, you become people's big brother. That's why I become big brother, big sister in situations, and you rooting for them to be successful. And sometimes it just does not turn out the way it should. And I just hate to see people, you know, causing their own self-destruction, and you're trying to help them.
And I have had the experience though too, where even if it didn't work with me per se, there still ends up being a success story at the end, because I had to realize that I may not be for everybody, or maybe I was just what needed to get them the jump start, you know. Every once in a while, I mean, I know with me, even a lot on my health and wellness and weight loss journeys, I may have to start it over and over again. And we talked about that in a previous video. And so I have had those clients that have maybe gone through my 6-week life coaching session or program, and maybe haven't quite gotten the results that I was hoping they would get. But then I see a year later that they got it, and they're, you know, successful, and they're happy. And so I had to start realizing that too, that I'm not always going to be the one to get someone to their full harvest, but I just may have been there to plant that seed. And I still am grateful and happy for that. Like, anytime I can see someone living at their highest level, living their best life and doing what they were called to do, whether it was me that completely got them through that process, or if it was someone else or something else, it still warms my heart, because my desire is just to see everyone living the life that they were meant to live.
Right. Yeah. And one of the things that, you know, and you witnessed this with me, we were out, because I speak at schools. I go around, I speak at different schools on career days, and like I say, mentoring at different schools and things like that. And we were out shopping one day, and we were checking out, and a young lady just happened to kept staring at me, and she kind of just recognized. She goes, you know, she called out my name. "You're Wallace Hall, aren't you? You came and spoke at my school on career day a few years back." And at that. And she goes, because of you and what you shared with us, you know, it really touched me. And that's why I'm enrolled in college now. I'm working on almost getting my degree. I'm doing this. And I just got a different life perspective, all because you came. I'm tearing up. All because you came and spoke to me.
Baby.
And that's one of the things that kind of let me know that we're on our right path, that we're doing the right things, we're sharing. And we just want to be positive role models, positive examples for people. And that's why I've always tried to live my life as positive as I can. And being able to share stuff like this and do things like this, like I say, we did the hallway together. I think it was awesome when you did Running for Your Life, because there were so many young ladies that were wanting to live life like you live it, you know, and just need a little guide map or something like that. And we're able to be that guide for people. And like I said, it just helps me feel like we're living in our purpose. And to have someone like that young lady come back and say, hey, you made a difference, you know, and that's one of the things I feel like always when I have a relationship with someone or someone can say, you know, I'm able to impact them, that their life is better by knowing me.
Right.
You know, somewhere along the lines, I just made it that much better or that much easier for them to deal with their situations.
And I just love to encourage people to do what we do, even if it's not your profession, even if it's not something that you do on a regular basis, even if you don't have a business surrounded by it. We can all pour into someone. I always encourage people to share, if they're comfortable, their life experiences with others that they see struggling with some of the similar things, because we are indeed our brother and sister's keepers in my mind. We all need someone. None of us are going to be able to go on this journey and reach the amount of success that we would like. And when I talk about success, again, like Wallace said, it's not only about financial success. I'm talking about spiritual success, emotional success, that just self-love and self-care that we all need. We're always going to need someone else every once in a while just to give us that vote of confidence, just to give us that information that maybe we were struggling to find, to be that resource for us, to be that connector for us. And so I just encourage people to do that, you know, any chance that you get, because you never know that what someone may be going through and what your word of encouragement, what your maybe just your smile or your wave hello might do to help someone make it on to the next day. And so never miss out on an opportunity to be that person who may just brighten or ignite a spark in someone. And sometimes you don't even know. And so if you're just always of the mindset of leading with kindness and being helpful anytime that you can, there's always going to be that chance that you were the reason why someone continued on their path in the right direction. So I think we need more of that, and not to be shy about it, not to be ashamed of maybe what your past story is. Just realize that we were all put here to love and serve one another, to help us all be better. And, you know, one person at a time, we can help change the trajectory of this crazy world.
Right. You know, this life's not easy. You know, it's just a lot of heartaches, a lot of late nights, a lot of stuff that happens in life. But I think if we're partnering together and doing those little things, we can make it that much better, you know, for everyone else. You know, like I said, just smiling, saying hi, you know, especially if you have family members, reach out, say, I love you, just check up on them. But being that friend when you can, and like I say, offering that advice, willing to share. And I say, not everyone's going to take your advice. Sometimes you do have to just say, all right, I threw it out there. Like you said earlier, you plant the seed. You plant the seed, you allow God to do the harvesting. That's all we can do, is plant the seed, and then we continue on from there. And that's what I try to do, you know, whenever I can, just plant the seed. It was a NBA player who shared a story of when he was in college, how he always was just so, you know, being that athlete, you know, being, you know, popular and things like that. But he kind of got kind of arrogant a little bit, just wasn't, you know, going around just being who he was. But he got news that one of his schoolmates had committed suicide, and the note said that, you know, that person said he didn't feel loved, he didn't feel like anybody wanted to be around him or anything like that. So now this particular NBA player, whenever he's out, no matter where he's at, he's shaking people's hands, say, hey, how you doing? You having a good day? He says that's just where he feels like if he could have, and I say he doesn't know, but he feels like if he could have just been the one who came by and said, hey, how you doing? Just shaking that person's hand, or just, you know, just checking up on them, could have made a difference in that person's life. So now every day in his life, he tries to go by and shake everyone's hand he sees, say hi, just seeing how you're doing, you know, just putting it out there, just trying to make a difference and be who he is. And that's what
Yeah.
I encourage everyone to do. Just try and make a little difference each and every day.
Kindness goes a long way.
Yeah,
It
it
really does. So we appreciate you guys for always being so kind to us. We hope that sharing a little bit of our story and our why with you
Yes.
will help to, maybe inspire you to, be that somebody to somebody, and just know that your story matters and there is someone out there who is just waiting to hear it. You can be the difference in someone's life, even if it's just something minor. Again, it doesn't have to be life coaching. It doesn't have to be writing books. It doesn't have to be starting a YouTube channel. It can start with something just as simple as, hey, how are you doing today?
How's your day going?
Yeah, so I just encourage you all to just be mindful of your level of kindness to, my voice.
Just lean on me.
I know, right? Your level of kindness to each other. And so thank you so much for tuning in. Y'all know the drill. If you like the video, go ahead and give us a thumbs up. And then hit that subscribe button, because we would love for you to be a part of the Hallway Tribe. And then hit that notification bell so that you will be notified every time we drop new content. So until next time, guys, I'm Stay Hall.
And I'm Wallace Hall.
And we'll see you in the hallway.